everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, we're going to be talking about Putin's religious justifications for his goddamn war in Ukraine. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of justifications, I'm sure, but these are the religious ones.
Yeah, and we're also, just so you know, as a quick announcement, today's show is going to be a little bit loosey-goosey. Next week's show is going to be a little bit loosey-goosey. We're, Frank and I are both going out of town.
Yeah.
And
we didn't coordinate it.
We didn't plan well at all. Neither of us told the other one.
that
And we were both like,
tickets were bought, hotel rooms reserved.
yeah.
And
By the way, Frank, on next week, you're going to need to get a co-host. And you were like, no, you are. What are you talking about? And we were both like, oh, we're dumb.
shit.
We're just dumb people.
So enjoy the shorter show.
Does anybody want to be a producer for a podcast?
God.
Because that would be useful.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my God. All right. Well, sorry about it, but we love you guys. We're doing the shows. We're just
Just a little truncated, that's all.
we're keeping it a little. We're freeing ourselves up.
Yeah.
Just everybody, do some deep knee bends and breathe through your nose, in through your nose, out through your mouth.
It's going to be
It's all
okay.
gonna be okay.
It's going to be okay. I know. In these trying times, you can deal with a little less of us, I'm sure.
Oh my God. Yeah. A lot less of
A
us.
lot less of us. All right, Greg Locke, Dan, I've got an update. I can't remember.
Pastor Gregory M. Lockenstein III.
I cannot remember for the life of me if it was like last week or 2 shows ago or whatever, but I recently told the story of him exposing something like 6 witches, or the fact that there were 6 witches in his congregation. He didn't actually call them out by name, which would have been the real that's how you really do it.
Well, obviously he didn't actually have names. He was just trying to scare some people.
Yeah, exactly. But he's on this topic of deliverance from evil. He's really big on the topic, and he says, this is the update part, that it's the most dangerous message I've ever preached. Is the message of deliverance in the name of Jesus Christ. It's caused more anger. It's caused more pushback. It's caused more threats, more evil. It stirred up more problems. It's done more to hurt people in our church, so forth and so on. He keeps rambling on about it.
I'd like to see the data on that, because I'm guessing his anti-COVID stuff has done a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what made him famous?
Yeah, well, we knew about him before that, but But then CNN decided to actually interview the family members of people that had died because they believed him. So, there's that.
There's that part of it. So apparently part of the evil that's been raining down around him are a lot of phone calls and objects that have been arriving in packages for him, such as let's see, sex toys, glitter bombs, some crystals. A big box of crystals, I guess, was sent. It said that it was from his mom, and he's so evil. He says
they sent him rocks, and he was like,
no. Everybody is mad about the thing I said about calling out witches. They are real. They know they're real. They're not hiding the fact that they're real, except for the fact that these 6 witches haven't come forward.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's just that the church is too unbiblical and ignorant to recognize witchcraft, sorcery, and spells and curses when we see them. We literally got a box the other day that said it was from my mom, that was full of all kinds of crystals and hexes and vexes and curses. Yeah.
Hexes and vexes?
Hexes and vexes. Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
Hexes?
Hexes are a thing. I don't think vexes are a thing.
Well, the hexes have caused him to be vexed. So.
Well, okay. That's fine. Sure.
That hex vexed me. And apparently their voicemail will only hold 40 messages at a time. And they're having to reset it every 2 hours.
Nice.
Now, a lot of this, of course, he's exaggerating, right? As to like the volume of which and the rate at which these voicemails are coming in. But I do believe him when he says that he's probably gotten some that included death threats and whatnot, because there's a lot of crazies out there. And when they know who you are and where you are.
Definitely. I mean, okay, our listeners, just so that you guys know, don't call him and give him death threats. That would be awful.
No.
I'm not saying don't call him.
You are right.
I'm not saying don't leave a voicemail.
Right.
But don't include a death threat.
Right. Just tell him how unchristian he actually is. Or coming from an atheist, you are the least Christian person.
Or sell him on whatever product you're offering. Or anything. It doesn't matter. Just waste the guy's time. That's delightful.
So I have some lavender essential oil.
Yeah.
That I would.
Yeah. What do you sell? Or just be like, hey, maybe set yourself up as a witch hunter, and see if he'll pay for your services. Yeah. I think that'd be great.
No kidding.
Set up a good website.
Yeah. Apparently, this deliverance thing, according to him, is way bigger in the Bible than anybody else cares to care about.
I mean, it does talk about witches in the Bible.
Yeah, and demonic possessions and what have yous. Apparently, according to him, Psalms is just like going crazy with references to deliverance. He says if you search for the word deliver or deliverance, they're used all over throughout Psalms. It's uncanny.
He has never read Psalms. He has never read that book. He is good though at typing in a keyword, and seeing how many times it comes up.
Right. Well, yeah, I would also say deliver. There's a lot of things that I could imagine the Bible saying that you could be delivered from. Right.
Absolutely.
Delivering from temptation and delivering from evil. That doesn't sound like delivering you from witchcraft.
Yeah, he clearly believes that the word deliverance is roughly equivalent to the Harry Potter term defense against the dark arts. Like that, he thinks he's supposed to go expecto patronum and get rid of the witches.
He read the Harry Potter version of the Bible.
Yeah. Except if you mention Harry Potter to him, I'm sure he would scream and yell about witches.
And yeah, of course he would. Of course he would.
Probably because he just doesn't understand it. He watched it with his kids and he was like, I don't get it. What's happening?
It was, yeah. Well, he had the same reaction I did, which was, why is this popular? Sorry, everyone.
Oh, they hate you, Frank. They hate you now.
Gonna get some angry emails about that. Frank doesn't understand Harry Potter. How important it was to my childhood. Yeah, I don't. I was in my 30s.
What about Hagrid's great West Country dialect? I loved it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, it's so good.
Anyway. All right. Well, Greg Locke defending us all against the dark arts.
Thank God he's around.
In his own church. It's in there.
Yeah.
The witches are there.
And if they are there, they could be anywhere.
Why don't you kick them out, Greg? Yeah. What are you doing? Why don't you actually call them out by name and then not allow them in the church? I don't know why you're allowing them. Anyway, I've got an interesting story that's out of Russia, and I find this fascinating because you'll see. Here's the deal. We know that Russia, I think we reported on this a while back. Russia has been real shitty to Jehovah's Witnesses over the last several years.
Yeah. Which I'm so conflicted on.
Right? Like,
okay, yeah.
You want Jehovah's Witnesses to stop,
yeah,
but you don't want them to be forced to stop by a government.
Right, exactly.
Somehow, there are proper channels for this sort of thing. Yeah. Here's the thing: Russia recently sort of kicked all the Jehovah's Witnesses out, or a bunch of the Jehovah's Witnesses out of the country.
Yeah.
I didn't know the extent of things. It turns out Russia has been like hassling and attacking Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, including invading their homes, taking their laptops and their, proselytizing materials and all that sort of thing. And so a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses, I think the Jehovah's Witnesses as an organization, sued Russia in the European Court of Human Rights.
Russia doesn't care.
Well, we'll get to that.
And we've already sanctioned them. There's nothing else we can do.
That's exactly where I'm going with
this. Shit, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm just saying the court has found for the plaintiffs. Like it's actually not Jehovah's Witnesses in general. It is specific people suing, like two different lawsuits with two different groups of plaintiffs suing Russia. And the court has found for the plaintiffs and ordered Russia to pay fines totaling around $100,000. It's like 99 euros. And all I could think when I read this story was just like, this means nothing. Like, the story that I'm reading is like, aha, this will send a strong message to Russia that this was not acceptable. And I'm like, you think Russia is listening to your strong messages from the European Court of blah, blah, blah?
They're just shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I just think, I don't think those Jehovah's Witnesses are going to get their money.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
Well, maybe they can just pay them in rubles, right? Like at this point,
right?
At this point.
Well, what you do is you pay them. You make them agree to take pennies on the dollar in terms of rubles, because right now they're at such a low place that they're guaranteed to go up from here.
Oh, is that your strategy, Dan?
You just say, hey, just don't pay me $100,000 worth of rubles. Pay me, $10,000 worth of rubles now, and then I won't cash them in.
Have you converted all your savings into?
Oh, it's all rubly. It's everything's rubles. I am rubled to the hilt.
You're such a patriotic.
Friend. Well, it's individual. That and crypto. I've got rubles and crypto. It's my entire investment portfolio at this point.
You're really. It's good to diversify. You don't want it all in one. Right. So sounds.
Matter of fact,
like
I'm doing ruble coin. Is my new. Oh
no.
Lord.
Oh,
well, we warned you that it was a truncated show. We're going to move on to our next segment. So if you would like to email us about any of the things that we've talked about so far, please write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's some more show coming up. Not much, but some.
There's some. There's show. There's plenty of show. Well, Frank.
Dan.
He's back.
Who?
You guys. He retired. Our boy Pat Robertson was gone. And he's back. And he came back specifically to give us the message that he's about to give us.
It's a good one.
And it's a treat.
It's a very special, very important message, apparently.
As we have said many times with this man, with Pat Robertson, he's about 70%, he's about like 30% really astute and clearly very smart, and 70% Muppet-style loony. Like Gonzo the Great insanity.
Oh.
And he has combined those here for chef's kiss. Mwah. This is a cherry of a soundbite. So we'll just play it.
I think you can say, well, Putin's out of his mind. Yes, maybe so. But at the same time, he's being compelled by God. He went into the Ukraine, but that wasn't his goal. His goal was to move against Israel ultimately And God is getting ready to do something amazing, and that will be fulfilled. And what Putin is doing by moving as he is to set up Ukraine as a staging ground for one of the armies, and then across is Erdogan at Turkey, and you've got between them that little Dardanelles area, and it's going to happen. So I just say that is what's coming up. Is Putin crazy? Is he mad? Well, perhaps. But God says, I'm going to put hooks in your jaws, and I'm going to draw you into this battle, whether you like it or not. And he's being compelled, after the move into the Ukraine, he's being compelled to move again to get a land bridge and then across the Dardanelles with Turkey, and watch what's going to happen next. You read your Bible because it's coming to pass.
That is some first-rate cuckoo right there. First of all, just as a public service announcement, there is no "the" in the country's name of Ukraine.
That is correct.
I don't know why we old folks were raised with a "the" there. I don't know why I was taught the Ukraine.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was called.
That's what we called it. That's what Americans called it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway, I am also a little confused at his geography.
Yeah.
Did you look? What? Did you look it up just to verify, like I did? Because I was like,
I did.
I was like, really? Ukraine's that close to Turkey? I didn't know that. It's not.
It's a brief boat ride across the Black Sea.
Yeah, but he talks about the Dardanelles, which is, the Dardanelles Strait.
Yeah.
Between, what is that down there in Turkey? It's one of the ways to pass from the Black Sea. You pass through Istanbul, right? A little straight through there. Yeah. And then you're in another body of water, and then you pass through the Dardanelles. And then, if that's the whole thing, then he's got to, a land bridge. That's what he's saying. So then they take to water from Ukraine. I get it. Okay. I get it now.
It's so absurd.
And then sail onward to Jerusalem. Well, don't they already had, whatchamabucket, the Crimea.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the in front of everything now.
The Crimea.
Yeah,
exactly.
Down to the Israel.
Or just use airplanes. We have air travel now. I don't know that there are even war ones. The whole thing is so patently absurd. Isn't
Russia already in Syria? Help me remember. Anyway. You're right. It's patently absurd.
But the thing, we're burying the lead here, Frank, because we're getting hung up on the wrong thing. The right thing to be hung up on is that is that he thinks God is propelling a madman to invade other countries. His God that he loves and thinks is all-knowing and all good.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Explain this to me. What is your God? Your God is a very weird person.
Their God is not good. And
No.
I think they know that. He's just God.
Yeah.
He's their God, and they're fine with that.
Yeah.
And their God is kind of a dick, and it would do something like, madman.
Yeah.
Down to Israel to start the end of days, whatever. I mean, I will hand it to him on that part, which is end of days and Putin are a pretty safe bet to combine those two ideas.
I mean,
but my money's on Putin. If there's going to be an end of days within the next year or so, my money's on Putin.
Well, yeah, but I got news for you. I don't think it's going to involve Israel.
No,
I don't think Israel's. I mean, other than maybe some of the nukes that are pointed at Russia might be from Israel, but Israel's got their own fish to fry at this point.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. That's just absurd. He's a crazy person. Anyway, I'm glad he came back to tell us that. that his God is such a psychopath that he is using other psychos to invade things just because he couldn't. Here's what God was struggling with. He just couldn't get this damn apocalypse started.
Yeah.
He's taken so many runs at it, and it just keeps petering out.
It's just so tough because Satan keeps working with the good people of the planet to prevent war, right?
Right? How else do you explain it? That must be what's happening. Satan is working with the good guys to stop God, who sent the bad guys.
Working with the bad guys. Literally, this is basically what he's saying. At least
that is his claim.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had a few folks write into us. Just so that you know, we're splitting the emails and stuff between this week's show and next week's show. So
yeah.
So I'm going to read a couple things. You'll remember, we talked about essential oils. You had mentioned them earlier today. Well, last week we talked about the essential oils.
Yes.
Essential. Anyway, Rob wrote into us to say, hey, Frank and Dan, I just wanted to add one thing to your discussion about essential oils. My wife and I don't use essential oils because we have ferrets. They have particularly delicate respiratory systems, and some of those oils are dangerous to them.
Really?
I've heard there are also some that are dangerous to cats, but I haven't confirmed that.
What?
If folks find the smell pleasant, then yeah, go for it. But if you have pets, ask your vets first, and at the risk of preaching to the choir, don't buy them from MLMs.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. That's actually true. I have heard that. I've heard that there are a few that are actually very dangerous for cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the smell can hurt them? Dangerous?
Like having oil in the air. Is somehow it's bad for their respiratory system or something.
That's really interesting.
I did not Google that after I read this email. So
I would never have guessed that would be a thing.
But yeah, all you ferret parents out there, apparently they are just delicate little monsters.
Aw.
So
cute little guys though.
Be careful with your ferrets. That's long been my feeling. Just be careful with your ferrets. We had somebody else write in about oils, so I'm just going to stick with the oil theme for this.
Okay, cool.
This is from Mark, who says, my wife has a one-woman craft business. For a couple of decades, she has been a silversmith.
Oh.
At shows, I would have people ask or tell me the magic powers of various gems. When cornered, I would say, it's pretty. A couple of years ago, she started making and selling soaps and lotions using essential oils where possible. Now I get people asking me which scent works for blank. I assume meaning fill in the ailment. Which of these soaps is going to clear up my sciatica? As a card-carrying skeptic, I just say they smell good. Remember, the customer is always right. Well, Mark, this customer is not always right.
Yeah.
In point of fact. But yeah, I mean, the smell is the point. And if you want to believe that it's going to cure your lumbago, do you know what lumbago is? I have no idea what that is.
No, I don't.
Anyway,
I didn't even know what shingles was until you got it. So,
yeah, it's not going to cure shingles either. There is no essential oil to cure. When my dad was in the hospital, having serious burns over a significant portion of his body, one of his cousins called me to offer essential oils.
Oh,
I was like,
to treat the burns?
No, to rub not on the burned places, on his feet, and that would impart some sort of healing to it. I was like, that is very sweet. No, thank you.
Right.
He was very gracious about it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't selling them. He was offering them. At least he was offering to just give them to me. So that was nice.
But like a good drug dealer, right?
Right.
First time's free.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, do we have this week? We could thank people. We could have people to thank.
We do have some new patrons on Patreon, Dan.
Okay.
We've got 3 of them. There's 2 new teachers. We have Brandon and Ryan.
Well done, Brandon and Ryan. Thank you so much.
And we have a new elder by the name of Suzanne.
Oh, Suzanne. Good.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely
glad you're
fantastic.
here to whip these young teachers into shape.
Yeah, well, an elder is the Melchizedek priesthood as well.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
That means
be clear
that,
about the powers that she's not getting, right?
Yeah. Oh no, she's totally getting the powers. We are imparting real magic, every bit as real as what we got when we were Mormons.
Yeah.
On these people. So congratulations on your priesthood. Please go forth and tell people that you have magic powers from God. That's a perfectly rational thing to say to people. And then we listen. First of all, friends, this is the only way that we make money off of this thing. So if you value what we do, we appreciate our listener support so much. All you have to do is go to thankgodimatheist.com, click on the support tab. It takes you right to the place. You decide how much you want to give. It's not up to us. It's up to you.
Yeah.
How much magic do you want from us? That's your choice. And then you're supporting our show, and every little bit helps a lot. So we sure do appreciate it. And I think we have one more person to thank.
We do indeed, Dan. Our top donor, our Lord and Savior, Demonium. Thanks, everyone. There is more show coming up.
Well, Frank,
Dan.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this. It's been flying under most people's radar. But
I mean, the thing we were just talking about on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Russia seems to have invaded Ukraine, or the Ukraine. I think that's
how
more
about
proper.
the Russia?
Russia has
invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The Russia. It's just one guy. It's just
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway,
The Putin.
here's what's funny about all of this. We've talked.
That's bold.
There's a lot. You're right. There's so much that's funny about it. It's ridiculous to just narrow it down to one thing. No, it's interesting to me because there's a lot of, and we've seen this, there's a lot of Americans who are kind of siding with Putin and Russia.
Ugh.
And it's almost inevitably they mention religion as one of the reasons. They mention that, Russia is an extremely Christian nation and blah, blah, blah.
And they hate the gays.
Well, they are good at that part.
And they're willing
real good at that.
And they're
part.
willing to kick out the J-dubs. These people,
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I mean, the J-dubs thing is I don't know. Is that a feature or a bug to American
Christians?
Christian?
I think American Christians are no fans of the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, but they're still kind of same team. You know what I mean? They're still Jesus people. So it's
Maybe.
Anyway, it doesn't seem to have bothered them at all. In the meantime, Russia is not evangelical Christian. They are decidedly, on the whole, very much an Orthodox Christian nation.
Yeah.
To the point where many of the ways that Putin is justifying his invasion of Ukraine hinge on the religious affiliation of both of the countries. Ukraine is also very much Christian Orthodox. And for 3 centuries, they were under the Moscow Patriarchate of Orthodox Christianity.
Oh, yeah.
They were Russian Orthodox.
Mm.
And Putin uses this as proof that they're really just Russians pretending to have their own country.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's kind of a big chunk of where he's coming from when he talks about Ukraine. There's also a weird thing that I wanted to mention, which is his claim that he is going into Ukraine to stamp out Nazism.
Yeah, that one's hard.
It is so desperately absurd.
It doesn't make any sense. On the surface, it doesn't. I mean, maybe if you really get into his thinking, you can really.
No, he's just using the bad guys of another war and then saying, but they're there. What's really absurd about it, I saw some recent data on this. Russia as a country is significantly more anti-Semitic than Ukraine.
Really? Oh, wow.
Significantly so. I mean, Ukraine has plenty of anti-Semitism in the country.
Sure.
But Russia is significantly more. On top of that, I mean, or as evidence of that, perhaps, Ukraine has a Jewish president.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even talking about? Putin? Not to mention the fact that, Putin went ahead and blew up one of the most sacred sites from the Holocaust in Ukraine.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I'm sure he's not sad about it, right? Like, it probably wasn't intentional, but
yeah, he seems to have been aiming at a TV tower, but
I doubt he's like shed tears over the
and
golly,
and it's
that's
absurd.
terrible.
I mean, like, this place was, the site itself was where 33,000 of Kiev's Jews were systematically shot in basically 2 days.
Yeah,
they were rounded up and they were taken there,
really,
and basically made to lie down in their own grave and then shot.
Jesus fucking Christ!
So, really, I mean, that is a sacred place. If I believe in places that are sacred, that's one of them. That's something that you don't fuck with. That's something that we can't ever forget. You know what I mean? Like, that's about as holy as it gets for me.
Yeah.
But you got to root out the Nazis.
Well, I mean, I was just looking this up, and it turns out that Putin's a big fan of the Indiana Jones movies. And
I'm sure that is true.
So he's like Indy. He doesn't like the Nazis. Against the Nazis.
It doesn't matter if you're just saying that as a joke. I'm guessing that he 100% loves those movies. I especially like part where man puts hand in chest of other man and pulls out heart.
He thinks it's a real thing. He's like, what special effect?
I guarantee you he has tried it on people.
Holy shit.
Tried to get his hand in. God damn, he's stupid now. I know you cannot do. I don't know.
Did you see?
I just think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask if you saw the clip when the president of Ukraine, sorry, I had to correct myself there. He was being filmed when he found out about the Holocaust monument thing being bombed.
Yeah,
and he just kind of looks and kind of shakes his head and goes, "Congratulations, Russia."
Yeah.
He had nothing. He was just like, "Congratulations. You've just bombed that." Yeah. Cool. And walks away.
Can I just say that Zelensky is just dreamy?
Yeah.
In every single way.
Yeah.
He is just fucking dreamy. If you don't have a crush on Volodymyr Zelensky, shame on you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fascinating character. I'll say that. Yeah. Former actor. Yeah.
Did you know that he was the voice of Paddington Bear in the Ukrainian release?
No.
Swear to God.
That's amazing. No, he was on some sitcom where like a teacher becomes president of the country.
Yeah.
And then he becomes president of the country.
Yeah.
And then war breaks out. He ends up with like crazy approval ratings because he's sticking around,
It's not fair. When they elect an actor, they get him. When we elected an actor, we got Ronald Reagan. What are we doing, America?
And then
come on,
TV personality, we get Trump,
right?
Yeah,
right. I will compile a list, and they will be the only celebrities we are allowed to even consider for president.
Cynthia Nixon.
No. No, she's disqualified based on her association with that show.
Oh, no.
The new one is apparently really bad. What is it called? Sex and the City.
And So It Goes. What do they call the new one?
I don't know.
I have it on my list.
You'll have to report back.
The thing that I am watching with her right now is The Gilded Age.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. Sorry, everyone who loves it. It's from the guy who did Downton Abbey. So, Downton Abbey, right? And then
I didn't like that show, so we're just hating. Frank and Dan, haters. Right now, we will shit. If you listen long enough, we're gonna shit on your show. Like whatever your show is, we'll shit on it.
Because there's really not much that we do like.
Yeah, there's stuff that we like. There's stuff that we both like, and then there's stuff that we disagree on. For example, I like the Harry Potter movies.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Everyone, did you hear the judgment pouring out of Frank's? Anyway. Well,
I promise, if any of you told me the same thing, I would react similarly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, friends, that's all we got. I don't know. If you hear anyone defending Putin based on his religion, just know for a fact in your heart that just like Donald Trump, who a lot of people voted for because of his connection to Jesus, Vladimir Putin has no beliefs in any kind of God that isn't himself.
Yeah, no way. No way.
He'll use religion to, for his, to justify things. And certainly he's got the church in Russia under his thumb.
Yeah.
Let's not make any mistake about him being a religious man.
What is wrong with so many conservative religious folk that they can't see it? Like, what is wrong? There's something wrong with them. And then this isn't me just being like a judgmental atheist or anything like that, right? Like, I truly, honestly believe there has to be something cognitively wrong with them.
I don't think so. I do think so. I just think it's the same thing that's cognitively wrong with almost all humans. We have built-in cognitive biases that we have to actively work to defeat. The trick is they're not actively working to defeat them. They're allowing them.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, one of the audio clips that I elected not to play today because we had fucking Pat Robertson was a clip of a round table of people. They were on a Zoom meeting. I don't know who they were. I listened to it and then went away. So I can't tell you who they were, but they were clearly very right-wing people. And they were talking about the, Putin and the invasion and everything. And one of them said, listen, it's very simple. If Nancy Pelosi is for it, obviously we just choose the opposite.
Oh my God.
And everyone on the panel was like, yep, exactly. And that's where we're at. Wow. That is what is happening here in these United States. They said it out loud. They're not even embarrassed by it.
That's unbelievable. She needs to convert to some evangelical sect ASAP.
Right? She needs to start showing up at Greg Locke's tent just to see if she'll
sincerely participating. Oh, witch numero uno right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Until she starts donating, and then suddenly she's actually really good. We were all wrong about her. All right, friends. Well, if you would like to write into us, please feel free to do so. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click the like button. That's a thing to do.
And if you'd like to participate in one of our members-only lounges, our online forums, you can do so by going to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/ members only.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their beautiful music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.